So welcome to our number one day of Goal, Set, Invest. So the reason why we have Goal, Set, Invest is because in real estate, there are so many opportunities to get into real estate that really we need to be very mindful about the goals that we're setting and also the money that we're spending. These are very large investments and we need to be super strategic in our thinking and educated. So this is a mindful approach to real estate. So let me start by introducing myself. My name is Juliette Thomas. I live in the Lake Norman area of North Carolina. I'm actually a North Carolina native. I'm from Hendersonville, if anybody's ever been to the mountains, the Appalachian Mountains of North Carolina. So I have a very diverse background. I actually have about 15 years as a executive in corporate America. And then I also have about 15 to 20 years in various real estate experiences. So I'd like to deep dive. This is day one and talk about some of the things that we're going to do on Goal, Set, Invest. Everything that we will be talking about will be focused on real estate, the markets, trending, opportunities for investment, things that we have done and things that we plan on doing as a company and an organization. And also we will be interviewing people in the industry who are known as the key thought leaders and the experts. And our goals around interviewing people are to learn more, to understand what are they doing to be successful. Obviously, we are in January 2023 and the market is shifting every day. And we also have news releases every day and we have more information than ever before. So that's why it's very important to be mindful in your approach. Just because somebody has a strategy, it may not be the best strategy for what you are trying to achieve. So we are going to talk about some of the basics of goal setting and how we do that and how we pursue it. But before, I'd like to just kind of deep dive and tell you a little bit more about myself so that you can understand my background and experiences. So to date, my husband and I have multi-million dollars in real estate assets. We manage these properties. We actually got our start in 2005 when we bought our first home with a subprime mortgage. During the subprime mortgage lending period, we received an 80-20 loan, which meant that it was all interest only, 0% financing. We did that because that was the first year that we graduated college and my husband was actually still in college. And we knew our financial situation was going to change. So they qualified us at the time, I say they, the bank, at an 80-20 interest-only loan. And at the time, we made $12,500 combined income on W-2s. So I'll never forget it because I actually wanted to purchase the house down the street. And the house down the street was $113,000 in a cul-de-sac, but we could not qualify. So we were only looking at the $110,000 house that had a massive hill in the back. But it was a great start because we had a long-term vision of owning properties, and this checked all the boxes. And at the time, our boxes were 3-bedroom, 2-bath, around 1,100, 1,200 square feet with a single car garage in a growing and strategic location. So our financial position did change. Later that year, we both got full-time jobs and had paid positions and decided to refinance the house 3 years later into a more conventional loan where we could actually pay down the interest. So we have owned that home for 15 years, and we did recently sell that home as a part of a 1031 exchange for a luxury property that we do short-term vacation rentals on. So I want to back up a little more and give you just a little bit more context about myself. I would say from like a personality perspective, I'm incredibly driven. I love real estate. Real estate is absolutely my passion. I'm a former college athlete as well. So one of the reasons why we came up with Goal, Set, Invest is we know that becoming successful, whether it's in athletics, real estate, or really any industry, it's all about goal setting and what you're going to do at a macro level and a micro level to get there. So that's a little bit of information about my background. Have a lot of great experience and single family, rentals and managing properties, property management, I have very strict guidelines that I do not deviate from. I do not have problems with tenants. Doesn't mean I'm not going to have a problem with a tenant, but out of 15 to 17 years of managing people and multiple properties, I have never had to evict anybody because I choose very strict guidelines and I use guidelines for property management. And I'm going to talk about that in depth during another podcast, but just again, giving you some backgrounds about who I am and Goal Set Invest. I also have experience with 1031 exchanges, which I mentioned, and we're going to do an entire series or podcast on 1031 exchanges because 1031 exchanges are a great wealth building tool for you in terms of taking your capital gains and deferring taxes on that asset through, a very legal process of the 1031 exchange. Before I say anything else, I just want to say that, I am not a CPA, but I can share with you that if you do a 1031, you need to use a qualified intermediary company before you do anything. So I would suggest learning first and then acting. Okay. Other experience I have is I manage short-term properties as well. I have also been very successful at managing short-term properties for vacation rentals. I'm going to give you a great example. So in 2022, I took over what should have been the peak of short-term rentals. I took over a rental that was underperforming, and I took the rental from having a revenue in the door over 12 months of $45,000. It's now at $110,000. So we are going to have an entire podcast on short-term rentals and strategies that you should be using and goals that you should be setting for yourself as a property manager or a property owner, and the expectations that you should have for anyone that is managing your property on short-term rentals. Because I get a lot of phone calls from people all over, specifically about managing properties, and I'm going to share with you some of my tactics since that seems to be something I'm got a great skill set at. So also I am a licensed North Carolina real estate broker. I have a team that I work with that does sales, listings, all sorts of great stuff that we do. And we live in a unique area that is, I've already shared, Lake Norman, who Lake Norman is actually owned by Duke Energy, and Duke Energy has a subset of laws or restrictions that is very different from living on lakes where a power company does not own the lake. So we are also going to talk about some of those water rights as well in a different podcast. But I want to say I'm super excited. I'm on a journey, and we're on a journey together of learning and also growing our real estate portfolio. So another thing that we are targeting right now as a company is I have a very calculated location right now that we are looking at the geography through studies that we've done, and we can talk about that as well. It's such a specific area that I think it's maybe 50, 55 acres. We are targeting single family homes. And my strategy for this subset actually would be that we are purchasing these single family homes and we understand what the market's going to bear. We understand what is selling. So lots of research in this area. We also understand the growth trajectory, and I'm going to talk about how you can learn and get yourself educated so that you can have a targeted location that you can pursue properties on. So for this location, I'm just giving you a very basic overview. This is all real estate 101, but we're going to talk about it and do some learning. Is this location we plan on purchasing these single family homes? We will rehab them, we will refinance them, and we will pull out the equity, and we will keep it moving on to the next project. We will have simultaneous projects, and also it is something that is investor-based where we have people put money in so that we can acquire more assets and have more projects going at one time. So all of this takes a lot of planning and a lot of effort, but I can promise you that if I can do it, you can do it, right? So think about some of the things that you want to do just based off of the various topics that we discussed, like property management, real estate sales, short-term rentals, long-term rentals, rehabbing properties. And you can grow your real estate portfolio as well. And there are so many podcasts out there and so many books out there that we are also going to have an episode that talks about other people's podcasts, the good and the bad. And we're also going to talk about all of the books and the learning opportunities that you can have as a person to move yourself forward in life. Because if you set a goal and you're thoughtful in it and you have a strategy, you can do it too. And one of the things that I've learned, even as I'm aging here, is that education, reading, networking, getting to know people, and having a strategy is absolutely the catalyst behind you building your own real estate empire and you continuing to be successful. So as we go along in this podcast, I'm going to be very open. I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to be vulnerable with you about the things that I'm doing that are successful, the things that I wish I would have done differently. And also you will receive in real time some of the deals that we are going to start working on, because we have a variety of initiatives and a variety of goals. And I'm going to talk about a grassroots approach of how you can get there. Anyway, I'm really excited. I know that Goal Set Invest is going to be a very successful podcast. We're going to talk about a lot of great things, and we are going to take a mindful approach of how to get you there, because not all of the information that we are receiving off of YouTube or Amazon Books or any of the other podcasts or pieces of even friends and family, some of it is not good, actionable information. Some of it can lead you into financial distress. So there are strategies and ways for you to be successful without being in distress. So again, this is Juliette Thomas on Goal, Set, and Invest, a mindful approach to real estate investing. All right, thank you so much, and we will see you on the next episode.